going to go to Senator McCon, Subcommittee Chair, on the first one, 2536. Been working on this for a couple years, and I think it's requested by the Secretary of State. Senator McCon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a bill that basically we're just trying to put some accountability measures back in place. Right now, every corporation, LLC, any other entity that's registered with the Secretary of State now has to do an annual report. You just go online, you pop a little information in, and then your annual report's done every year. We're just adding nonprofit corporations into that. And within that, there's going to be 2 additional questions for a nonprofit. One says, do you receive public funds? And if you do, from what agency? Don't care how much, don't care how you spend it. We just want to know if you're getting public funds and which agency, and then it's up to anybody else doing investigation on that. Very simple, in that all we're doing is adding the nonprofit corporations to the annual report. Entertain questions, Mr. Chairman.
All right, any questions?
Yes, sorry. So there's only one.
Line 163.
Yes. That's the definition there. And then I'd have to go and pull the exact location there. Yes, a statement as to whether it's received public funds, including a description of the type and amount of any public funds listed government agency that distribute the funds. The intent from the Secretary of State's office is to merely put, and we have Secretary of State's office, is to comply with that by putting a sentence that says, do you receive public funds, and click on that and say yes, and then allow them to put in the agency to which it was received from. If that language is more than what, that's actually, yeah, that's it right there. Thank you.
All right, any other questions?
Time sufficient to pass committee sub, Mr. Chairman.
Motion is title sufficient, do pass, committee substitute. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That carries. Next, we'll go to Senate Bill 2776. I will state to the committee that this comes to us from Senator Michelle. This is actually, this language in this bill should have been, and I say should have because that was the intent, was to be included in the AWS legislation in economic development that we did earlier in the session. It inadvertently was not. And what this is doing is allowing for what is officially known as the quick take to acquire the infrastructure for utilities, public wastewater treatment facility utilities. That was provided in the original legislation, but this wasn't. It was just inadvertently left out. And so this is trying to put that there. Senator McCon has a map if anybody wants to see what we were doing. So, yeah. And there was, he's pointing out that there were not limited to easements or rights of way for public highways and roads for that project. So, any questions?
One.
Bear.
Does this include any private land? Or is this all dealing with public right-of-ways and easements that already exist?
I'll be happy to answer that. And we do have counsel here from the project itself. Chris Pace, actually, I think we went to law school with him. But the deal is this is not going to be any residential property. These are actually 2, my understanding, hunting camps. And this is allowing for the taking of an easement or right-of-way only. Not the full property, just to put that in there. These are going to be takings for that purpose. And then the remainder of the eminent domain action would have to go through the court system. But the reasoning for this is there are conservation easements on there. And the only way to get through that is to go through the condemnation process. But this would allow this not to be a long-term, year-long process for it to go through that condemnation for the conservation easement.
Okay, any questions? No. Motion's title sufficient, do pass. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, that carries. Thank y'all. Rise and report. All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Thanks. Thank y'all. What? Oh.